Hey everyone, I'm Angel Balance and you're on my Life Fit Mama page. I wanted to give everyone just a moment to gather on here and really just kind of share with you where I'm at right now and what maybe a little bit about me that especially if you're new to my page, you may not know about me. You may not know this part of my story, and you may not know that you're not the only one who has these same types of thoughts or parts of your story that could be very similar to mine. So I've really kind of been telling my husband that for several months now, I've kind of been telling myself, you know what, I think I want to go back to something that I've done before for other women and do it again. Give this service to them again. Run this type of support and accountability group for them. Start to talk more about my story and my connection with emotional eating and binge eating and cravings, and helping other women know that you don't have to stay there, and encourage you. I was just telling somebody yesterday, I was telling a group of our ladies that are in our intermittent fasting group, which that's not what this video is about, but I was telling them, I was saying, look, if you are at a place where you are starting to believe that you're just stuck with where you're at and there's never anything that you're going to be able to do about it, whether it's weight loss or a health issue in your body, I want to encourage you to maybe stop right there, ask God about it, pray about it, and if he gives you a different idea, then run with it and start to trust him to show you some solutions. So part of my story and part of those solutions is really what I want to be able to talk with you about. And I hopped on with these questions here at the top of this post, and I'm going to read that real quick as kind of an intro. Crave, binge, gain, stress, crave again. Does that sound familiar? The craving, the binging, gaining weight, stressing about the weight that you gained, and then leading up to another craving, and then binge eating again, and so forth and so on. And I can tell you that I used to not think that I was a binge eater. I used to not categorize myself as one that was binging. But whenever I started to shift my perspective on food and eating, and my eyes were open to some things my patterns of my eating, and when I was able to start making connections to when I was reaching for food, and some lights went off. I started to realize that, hey, there is this cycle going on here, and I need to do something about it. But let me back up for just a minute and finish asking these questions. So what's really going on here? Do you ever step on a scale and beat yourself up? And I'd love for you to reply in the comments, yes, no, never, that's not me, or yeah, I've been in that place before, or just yes, I've been there, right? So do you ever step on the scale and then like beat yourself up about it? Like, gosh, I knew I shouldn't have had that, fill in the blank. Do you ever feel guilty about food choices, whether you're in public or after you've eaten privately? Do you ever stress about the food that will be at an outing, or if you can trust yourself to stay away, like, oh, I'm good as long as they don't have cheesecake, or oh man, they have a full plate of cookies, I am only going to have one and I'm going to run across the room? Or is it, sincerely difficult to resist the more and then feeling guilty about it? Do you ever think you must be missing something, or that something must be wrong with you because you can't lose weight? It's like the scale hasn't moved in a long time, or you've jumped into diets before, and maybe you stayed good for a little while, but you couldn't, ultimately you didn't stick to it. Kind of again, like that's become a pattern and you don't know why, and so you automatically assume and have these negative thoughts that go, something's wrong with you, or it's just not meant to be for you, or you're just going to stay stuck here forever, and you just need to learn how to be happy with where you are, right? self-acceptance, self-love. And while I'm an advocate for self-acceptance and self-love, this is not really where that's leading us. It's actually, we're still perpetuating a negative self-talk and shaming and guilting, and so we're not really living there. Do you maybe even have health problems, but you still can't stay away or say no to the foods that you know are contributing to the health problems? I've already shared some of my story with gut health and digestive problems and the weight gain and the skin problems and all these other things. And yet, even though I knew these foods were causing my body problems, I still wasn't willing to do anything about it. I was scared that I would be depriving of myself. I was scared that I would be living very restrictive eating, and I didn't want to live like that. And so I just refused to even learn about it or try to do anything about it, or do it the way that I knew it should be done for health reversal and not just weight loss, right? So some other questions that we can ask is, do you view food as comfort or as fuel? Do you exercise? When you exercise, if you exercise, do you do it because you want to lose weight or because you want to improve your health? What's the focus for you? Is it, I need exercise and exercise hard so that I can lose the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds that has been plaguing me or bothering me? Or is it because I want to feel strong? Is your mood completely determined by the number that's on the scale that day? Are you jumping on and then a day later it's a different number and you're like down about it? You felt good yesterday because it was down 2, but now you get on it and it's up 4 and you're beating yourself up. So this was me prior to 2014, and I tell my story all the very openly that I was in dance and all my life from I think like age 4 or something, and I was always around these tall, thin, beautiful girls in my perspective, and my body did not look like theirs. At the age of 13, hormones hit, and I immediately had hips and a butt and thighs, and I didn't necessarily have a mama pooch like that came after children, but I had, that's where all my weight was. And it bothered me. It bothered me that my whole body shape was different than the girls around me. That I felt like I was not, like my bottom half was always larger than what the top half, and it didn't match. You know what I'm saying? And I just always felt disconnected from, from that image that I would see in the mirror. And after I was told often, oh, you got wide, good birthing hips, be proud of them, whatever, but that's just not how I saw it, and I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want anything to do with that. And then after my babies were all born, through each pregnancy, I gained weight through each and every pregnancy, but after those, that's whenever I realized that my weight was no longer just in those areas. Now it was in the belly too. Now it was in the back. Now it was in my face. It was in my arms. I could physically see it everywhere, and it wasn't just while I was pregnant, it was after as well. And we're talking well beyond the time that I should have been losing that weight, right? And I didn't feel strong in my body. I felt like I had no strength in my hands and my limbs. And it really kind of bothered me. And the only thing that I knew to ever do about it was I would diet. I would reach for low-calorie snacks and low-fat yogurt, and I would reach for lettuce and apples and carrots. And I wasn't really a huge fan of carrots, I'll tell you that. And I wasn't a fan of going to bed hungry. And I would go down and get smoothies. That's actually how I met my husband. And I was in high school, and he was starting college, but he worked at a yogurt shop that made smoothies. And that was my dinner after dance class, because I felt like that was a healthy solution for me to be able to try to lose weight and look like those other girls around me, right? But I didn't fully understand nutrition. I didn't fully understand that the way that I was dieting, that was not what was going to help me lose weight. I thought I needed to reach for diet foods, quote unquote, diet Cokes and diet snacks, the little 100-calorie snack packs, in order to lose weight. And I had skin problems and I had digestion problems, but I didn't have a connection in my mind yet. Even when I started college and I wasn't dancing anymore, and I was full-time working, poor sleep, working and going to school, and I was just eating freely. I was just like, you know what, I'm done with the dieting thing because it's never worked for me. So I threw myself into just kind of like a rebellion, just like, I'm just going to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. And I mean, like, every day, my big yay was, what am I going to eat today? And I mean, granted, I was young, but I mean, I carried that into my early motherhood years. To be honest, I did. Yay, what are we going to buy at the grocery store so I have great things to eat this week to look forward to? What am I going to eat at this party? What kind of great food is going to be at this event? And then it would turn into, whenever when I would feel guilty about making those food choices, it was stress about the food that was going to be at the event that people would see me eating. And when, oh God, they're going to think I am fat, and I do have a problem with eating, and they're going to feel sorry for me, and I don't want the victim type of sympathy. And so when I gained an extra 20 pounds or so in college, I mean, like, I wore that like a big shame hat, and everywhere I went, and every time I had to eat in front of somebody else. And my question is, have you ever felt that way? Have you ever been there? Have you ever felt frustrated that you're dieting again and nothing is changing? You feel like you've picked up the new workout program and you've done the workouts, but nothing is changing. And that was where I was when, after I had my kids, and here I was now, I had 3 babies in under 5 years. And with each pregnancy, I gained 30, 35, 38 pounds, and I just felt soft all over, and I felt like who I saw in the mirror was not who I was. I was very uncomfortable in my skin, very uncomfortable with my movement, when I would sit, when I would get up, how my clothes were fitting. And I knew that my health issues were getting some of the health issues were getting worse, like the digestion problems that I mentioned, the skin problems I mentioned, the acid reflux and the heartburn things that I mentioned. But yet still, I did not want to give up my eating habits, not necessarily even the food I was eating, but my eating habits, like how much I was eating and how often, and how close to bedtime and all these things. But also kind of didn't understand the connection. And so then I knew that all I knew was I need to exercise to lose weight. And so I did. I started working out. My neighbor invited me to start working out. I started working out. I started to feel stronger in my body. I needed something low impact because I had previous injuries that had caused even more gain weight. And even whenever I started dieting, like I was choosing whole grain instead of white bread, or I was choosing, again, like low fat, no fat instead of full fat, and all these diet snack packs and things like that. And yet the weight wasn't moving as quickly as I thought that it should. Like, even 3 weeks in, I was kind of like, but I was feeling like some kind of changes were happening. And then I finally realized, you know what, there's one part of this program that I haven't implemented, and that was the nutrition side. And I asked my coach, my mentor, about it, and I said, what do you think I should do? And she suggested adding in and following the nutrition side of the program as it was written. I mean, like, what an idea, right? And so I kind of just took an honest assessment. I was tired of hiding in pictures and only wanting to take pictures from here up, or hiding behind my kids. And I was tired of feeling like I was struggling in my body. I was tired of feeling like I was kind of cringing away from my husband when he would put his hand around my waist, or on my stomach, or on my hips, or whatever. I didn't want to feel that way anymore. And I so I just made a decision, like, I'm going to follow the plan as it's written, and novel idea, and I just started taking it step by step, and took the time to understand nutrition and why the eating plan was written the way it was. I started to see food as fuel and not just as comfort or as a stress reliever or something to reach for when I was frustrated or when I was celebrating. And I started to realize that I could have freedom in my food choices and still enjoy the foods that I love to eat and still allow myself treats and not feel guilty about it, but also still get results in my body and turn my health around. And so part of the thing, my share the other day in my video was that I've completely reversed all of those health symptoms that I was suffering with in digestion and acid reflux and all those things, and that my skin is like, y'all don't even understand the reality of the skin problems that I used to live in and how much it has improved over time, and how I've been able to make the connection between emotions and health and food and the choices that I make and the happiness and the peace in my heart and the joy for life, and being able to feel empowered over this body, over my choices, and feel good about myself and not feel deprived and not feel like I can't ever have pizza. And, you know what I'm saying? But I had to open myself up to this opportunity to learn about the nutrition, to get connected to the community of people that were on the same journey as I was, who was working these programs with me, exercise and nutrition, following those eating plans, following the workout calendars, and seeing their own results. And we were able to share in those experiences and encourage each other on, because nobody has good days every day. Everybody has a hard time. Those cravings don't disappear right away, but we learned, and I learned how to help others, how to make a connection between those choices and the emotions and the thoughts, the negative thinking patterns and the eating patterns. And that has been the most powerful part of my journey. And it all came from this time where I was led to pick up the book Made to Crave by Lisa TerKeurst. And it's Lisa with a Y. And I don't know if you've ever heard of her book, if you've ever read her book. Have you? You can comment below and let me know your thoughts. But when I combined her book, when that first chapter that I remember listening to, I just kind of remember stopping in my car and like tears falling, because prior to this, I thought that it was me, you know, like I was missing something, but I had this thought and this inner kind of drive, like in thinking like, okay, there has to be something more to this than just the food that I'm eating and the workout that I'm doing, because I still feel like something, you know, is not locking in here and here, that, you know, I want to end that vicious cycle. I want to like learn how to interrupt it and move past it. You know, I want to feel empowered over that. And that's what I'm saying that I learned how to do and be able to help other people through, especially women, mothers. You know, I think that we relate well with each other in this area. And, you know, so as I was learning about portion control and realizing I didn't understand portion control before, as I was learning about how to see my food, and how to understand macros and how to understand how the foods interact with my body, not just for muscle, but for health gains, that I was also learning and making the connection with, you know, when I feel this way and when I think this way, I can still choose to eat this way, and how I was able to make that bridge over from thinking, feeling, and choosing, so that I could still feel peace and still see results and still be happy and in my life. You feel me? So and to get, have the benefit of energy and mental clarity because of these food choices that I'm making. And I'm more empowered in it now because I'm connected with other people and I'm staying accountable to someone else other than me. Because I will talk myself out of or let myself down or guilt trip myself right over in the opposite direction or over a cliff any day of the week. So this, lifestyle and this devotional and this type of support and accountability is what I'm offering you. If you're able to, you can pick up the book and join us in the group, or you can just trust that I'm going to be bringing the Made to Crave devotionals to you from the book into the group that will have live chat, live video discussions just like this where you're able to comment and we can talk back and forth, but also have one-on-one where I'm able to coach you personally and privately, even outside the group when you need it, but also within that group space. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm running this group. I'm going to do it again. It was so powerful the first time that I did it. I've decided that it's time, that this is where God is leading my heart to do again. I want to give this back and help more women make those emotional connections to food again. Make that connection and understand and know how to move past it and understand why we've been making those choices, but then how we can make new ones. And so not for vanity reasons, but for the reasons of being able to say, but for the knowing that I was created for more. I was created for more than this vicious cycle of craving, binging, gaining, stressing, and craving and binging again. And this feeling of hopelessness or helplessness over the changes that I want to make and never seem to be able to stick to. So I'm going to post down below a link if you're interested in joining in this group with us so that you can fill in that interest form and I will reach back out to you. It will ask you for your email and also your you can also send me a friend request or message me through my page, actually my Life Fit Mama page, and say, hey, I filled out that interest form for Made to Crave, and I'm calling this group Made to Crave Summer Obsessed because we're going to still enjoy all of our summer obsessions, the treats, how to travel, and all those things that we like to do in summer with a freedom of heart, though, because we're going to have we're going to be equipped through our group and through these Made to Crave devotionals to get our bodies, our minds, and our health back where we want it to be. Now, here's the thing, in full disclosure is, yes, I partner with another company to provide you the program and the nutritional supplements that I believe in and that I use personally. I use them for my own results, and I always suggest them and recommend them and require you to use them at least for the first 30 days with me. And if you try them and you absolutely have no results, you hate them, or they're just not for you, you are able to return, get your money back, no questions asked. Even if you use the entire container of supplements, you are able to return them. And the supplement is all natural, it's whole food based. It's plant-based is what I prefer first. There are some other options for you to choose from, and I want to be able to go over all those details with you. So fill in that interest form, follow the link below. You can read even more about my story on my blog, angelbalance.com, and click on the online challenge group button. And here's the other thing. I need to be your coach. In full disclosure, I need to be your coach. I need to be able to know that you're invested in me, I'm invested right back in you, and I'm with you every step of the way. So if you're already working with someone, I need you to honor them and honor that working relationship with them and go back to them and let them know, hey, I want your help in this area. Will you work with me? But if you don't already have someone that you're working with, I am your girl. I want you to reach out to me. I want you to fill in that interest form. And I want you to know that we are going to be able to experience this freedom this summer from stress eating or being stressed about eating to freely and fully embracing summer obsessions, the treats and all, just as summer was meant to be, but by God's design, and living life on our terms and enjoying it and knowing that we have peace of mind as well as peace in our waistline, okay? And so share this with a friend. If this is not for you, fine. Share it with a friend who you do know, hey, she might like this. This just makes me think of my friend or my mom or my sister, and I'm going to share this with them so they can check it out. Click that button to share this post with them. And let them know that you're thinking of them, okay? And that nothing's wrong with them. They can stop the negative cycle. They can stop the vicious cycle. And we are going to learn how to reach for food as fuel and how we want to feel in our bodies and in our health, and no longer as a stress, in response to stress, for comfort, and knowing that everything is possible. Everything. We are no longer stuck. All right. So thank you so much for coming in and jumping in with me and listening to the end of this video and sharing with a friend. I hope to hear from you very soon. Bye, y'all.